Hello, it's good to see you. Today I wanted to just ramble a little bit about my week, and then I have something to show you in a minute. This has been a crazy week. Oh my goodness. Now, I had mentioned before that I bought a refrigerator. Well, it was supposed to be delivered 2 weeks ago. And they called me the night before and said, yeah, who did you talk to when you bought this refrigerator? And I thought, oh, this isn't starting well. I said, I have no idea what the guy's name was. So then they go, well, was it so-and-so? I said, I just said, I don't know. Like they were trying to trick me into saying the person's name. And I had just told them I didn't know the guy's name. And then they asked me, well, was it this other person? I said, I genuinely don't know the guy's name. What does that have to do with anything? And they said, well, yeah, we don't have your refrigerator. I don't know who told you it was in stock. We don't have any in stock. And so we're going to have to order one and have it delivered here, and it's going to take 2 weeks. So we're going to come 2 weeks from tomorrow if that works. There was no apology. There was no... It was like, yeah, we don't have it. Too bad. You're going to wait another 2 weeks to get it. And I'm thinking, well, it's a good thing it wasn't urgent. So I said, yeah, I guess it's going to have to be okay if you don't have one. I'm thinking, why does it take 2 weeks to get it? But anyway, hopefully they'll come tomorrow and bring my new refrigerator. So I had to get everything off of it, all the magnets off, all the stuff off the top. I brought my cooler down from the attic to put stuff in with some ice. Tomorrow, I don't even know what time they're coming tomorrow. So, and my younger son got braces this week. Oh my gosh, he's miserable. I had forgotten. See, I had braces when I was his age, almost exactly his age. Almost down to the month. I got braces about the same time. The only reason I got them so young, back then it wasn't normal for kids to get braces that, at 10. The only reason I did was because we lived way out, in a very rural area, and there were no orthodontists anywhere around us. The closest orthodontist was about 30 miles away. And my brother was going to get braces. And the only reason we were even able to afford braces was because at that time, my dad had a job in a textile mill that had excellent insurance. They had amazing insurance. And the insurance covered orthodontics almost completely. They paid almost for the entire thing. We didn't have to pay much at all for the braces. My insurance doesn't cover braces at all. It doesn't cover any orthodontics, which is annoying. But anyway, my mom said, I'm not going to make that trip back and forth 30 miles, but each way for him, and then have to turn around and do it for you later. So he's older than me. She said, we're going to go ahead and do your braces and his braces at the same time. And the orthodontist was fine with it. I had forgotten how incredibly sore your mouth is after they put the braces on. Oh my gosh. And having to get used to all that metal in your mouth. And the brackets are smaller now, which is nice. When I had them back in the late 80s, they were bigger than they are now. And the wires were different. Everything was kind of different. It's way better now. But it still makes your mouth sore. And he's miserable. He doesn't want to eat anything because his mouth hurts. And I don't know. He's been eating just soft stuff like soup or noodles, things like that. So he's pretty miserable right now and just unhappy. And I gotta go let Pumpkin out. Hang on. She waits until I start a video. She's fine being in here, but if I start a video, then she has to leave. I think she gets tired of listening to me talk or something. So he's miserable. I'm miserable because I had to make a big down payment on the braces. My older son's braces were $5,500, and I had to pay for all that. So what you do is you make a down payment at first, like $1,000. I think his was only $750, but I had to pay $1,000 down, and then you make payments every month. And I'm really glad actually. They said his should only be $5,500 as well, but when he was younger, his teeth were so super crowded. And at that time, they were going to a pediatric dentist who was also an orthodontist and a different person. But that guy said that my younger son's teeth were going to be a lot harder to fix because, especially on the bottom, the crowding was so bad. But he said it could be that his jaw will, expand, or, it will get bigger and it won't be quite as bad. But he said right now, it's not looking good. I think he's going to have a lot of issues. So he does have more issues than my older son, but fortunately, it's actually not going to be that bad. I was afraid it was going to cost a lot more and take a lot longer and be a lot more complicated, but fortunately, it's not too bad, thank goodness. He has several teeth that have just come in crazy, like they have nowhere to go, so they're all cockeyed and everything. Poor kid. I hate it for him, but yeah, we've had 2 milestones here in this week. It's crazy. My older son got his learner's permit. I'm terrified. I'm gonna have to and he's totally capable. I know he is. But if you've never, just imagine your child driving you somewhere in traffic, and it's just, oh my God, it's scary. But it's okay. It's okay. I know we'll be fine. So he is now able to drive. And it was kind of a weird experience, theoretically. Okay, so here's what happened. I want to write him out. He doesn't care. He took the online the computer test. So you go in, you have to go through driver's education in school and get the certificate from completing the driver's education course. It's like 30 hours of classroom instruction and then like 9 hours of driving with the instructor. So he did all that. Got that done this year in school. So we did all that. So you have to have that. You have to have a certificate from the school stating, confirming that they are a student there and their grades are a certain, like they're not failing anything. And that certificate expires every 30 days and you have to go back to the school and get another one. It's really annoying. And you have to have, the birth certificate, social security card, and all this stuff, which is totally fine. It was funny though, when I was 15, I grew up in a town that was like this big. And so I remember my mom taking me for my test for my learner's permit. And it was so hilarious. You go into the DMV and, it's just like this little tiny office with one person in it. And my verification was just the DMV lady going, "Oh, you're so-and-so's daughter. Well, hey," she didn't ask to see anything. "Here, fill this out, take this test." And it was like one sheet of paper, and we were in and out of there in like 30 minutes. Oh, it's so much more complicated now. Oh my gosh. So we've already been up to the DMV. We went through this 2 times, and he failed the computer test. You have to take this they have these computers set up. You have to take this the written test. Well, it's not really, you don't write anything, but it's like the written test, but it's on the computer now. And he failed it twice. It was so, well, it's funny now. It wasn't funny then. The first time we went was in early February of this year. And we got there early on a Saturday morning thinking that we wouldn't have to wait too long. We got there 45 minutes before they opened. And it was freezing cold outside. It was like 20 degrees outside. And the building's closed, so you have to stand outside. There was already a line with like 20 people in it. I said, oh my God. So we stood out there in the freezing cold for 45 minutes, and we got in there. And right before we got up to the counter, he goes, "Oh, this is going to be so easy." I said, "How do you know?" He said, "Well, my friend told me that it's super easy. You don't even have to study for that test." I said, "Are you saying you didn't study for the test that you have to take?" He said, "No, my friend said it was easy. I didn't study. You don't have to." I said, "So help me, if we stood out in that freezing cold for almost an hour for you to come in here and flunk this test, I'm going to be mad." He flunked the test. He failed. He did not pass. So I said, okay, we did that for nothing. Go home and study, and if you fail, you have to wait 7 days before you can take it again. So we were able to go back a couple of weeks later. I picked him up early from school. We went up there, and I said, "Did you study?" "Yes, I studied." And if you have kids, it's almost like you can smell it when they lie to you. I know that sounds weird. If you have kids, you develop this sense of like when they're not telling you the truth. It's like you can smell it in the air. And he said, "Oh, I studied." I said, "Look me in the eye and tell me you studied." And he couldn't. Like, he couldn't hold my gaze. He just kind of went, "I totally studied." I said, "You didn't study." He said, "I did. I did study." Like, yeah, he failed it again. Fortunately, the third time was the charm. But see, the certificate expired over the galloping consumption shutdown thing. So in order to get a new certificate from the school, you have to call them and talk to the certain person. And then that certain person has to prepare the certificate, and then they are supposed to tell you when you can come back to get it. And they have to bring it out to your car because you are not allowed to go inside the school. I don't know why, because there's nobody in there. I guess they don't want you to infect it with your cooties or something. You can't get out of your car. You can't approach the building. You can't go in the school. It's crazy. It's like it's a nuclear facility or something. It's like they've got reactors in there and you're just as dangerous or something. I don't know. I had to call several times, and then I couldn't get anybody to answer. And then when they did answer, I had to wait for this person to call me back. It was a nightmare. Well, finally, I was able to get the certificate. Did I get it Tuesday? Was it last week? No, it was this week. Tuesday. I got it Tuesday. And I took my son up there, back to the DMV yesterday. And we had to wait. And it was really hot. And we waited and waited. We had to wait in line. I was going to get an appointment, but they had no available appointments. The closest DMV that had any appointments was in Kernersville. And the first appointment they had was like in the middle of June or something. So the certificate's only good for 30 days. And I'm sitting here like, I don't want that thing to expire. I want to go ahead and get this done. So I said, study, study, study. We're going to go on Thursday. When I got the certificate on Tuesday, I said, study like you mean it this time. Actually study for this test. And you can go online and find examples of the test and questions you can expect and things like that. So he studied. I had visual confirmation this time that he did indeed study at least some. So that made me feel better. So we get up there and we had to wait in line it was only like a half hour we had to wait, even without an appointment. Of course, they're taking the appointment people first, which I was fine with because, like, I don't know, they probably made these appointments like 3 months ago. Because you can't even get an appointment there at this point. We get in there. And I'm telling you, theoretically, the lady that helped us, it was like a role play I would have done. I don't even know how to describe this person. She didn't like me. That was obvious. She didn't like me. She kept giving me these looks. Everything I said, she would just look at me like, "What?" And I would have to repeat myself. So there's plexiglass between us. And she would ask me a question, like, "Do you have I need to see your driver's license." And I would say, "Just a moment." And she would go, "What?" Like she thought I had insulted her. I'm like, "I just need to get it out of my purse. Just a second." But my son, now here was the creepy part. And maybe I'm reading too much into it. I've never experienced anything like this before, allegedly. Okay, now my son is 15. He's 6'2". He's looks like a grown man, basically. I think it was weird. I don't know how to describe it. Now, that's how she would talk to me. Everything I said, she would look at me like, "Really?" It was so strange. But when she spoke to my son, it was like, "Hey, how are you?" But me, it was like, "What?" And then she would look at him like that. I'm like, "Are you flirting with my son? That's weird. That's gross. He's 15. Again, maybe I'm reading too much into it. I thought I was reading too much into it, theoretically, yesterday. This is going to turn into a gossip video. I didn't mean for this to happen. Okay, well, so we get up there. We have all the documentation. We have the new certificate. And we have the driving class, the driver's ed certificate. We have all the ID. We have every piece of paper we need. to do this. I'm like, yes, let's do this. And he had studied. I thought we were ready. And then she goes, okay, it's time for the vision test. And he goes, I forgot my glasses. And I looked at him and I said, are you serious? And the lady behind the counter goes, what did you say to him? I said, I just said, are you serious? Because we've gone through a lot and this is our third time and I'm frustrated. She goes, oh, okay. And she looked at him and goes, it's okay, you can still try. Okay. So he tried to, he couldn't do it. He couldn't pass without his glasses. It was, no. He took one look in there and said, nope, I can't read the letters on there. So, and he was supposed to do the sign test, and we didn't even get to that point where you look in the little thing and tell what the signs are. We didn't even get there. And so at this point, I'm kind of like, okay, well, obviously we're going to have to come back. And I thought, well, he's already failed it twice. It would give him an extra night to study. I'm thinking we could come back tomorrow. After I get off work, I can bring him up here and we can try again. But she goes, so I looked at her. So she goes, well, you can still take the test, the computer, the written part. You can still do the online test. And now I thought this was a valid question. I wish I could imitate the look on her face when I asked her this. I said, can we just wait and do the computer test when we come back? Because he's going to have to come back anyway to do the vision test. Can we not just wait and not do that today? Because I'm thinking if he takes it again and fails it, we're going to have to wait another 7 days to come back. It would give him an extra night to study. We have to come back anyway when he has his glasses and he can do the vision part. Why not just wait and do it all at once? The look on her face when I asked her that, I can't even imitate it. It was so intimidating. I involuntarily took a step back. Like, I felt embarrassed because she gave me the most withering look. I can't even imitate it. It was something like, what? And she looked at me and said, what kind of stupid question is that? And I'm like, and the whole time I'm thinking, bitch, I'll make a role play out of you if you don't stop. It was so uncomfortable theoretically. It was awful. I thought it was a valid question. Like, we got to come back anyway. Why not just wait and try again tomorrow when he has his glasses and he can do that and he can do the vision test and it gives him an extra night to study a little bit more, so maybe he won't fail it a third time. And I'm just fumbling over my words because the look on her face had me so shook up, allegedly. It was weird. So then she switches instantly, hypothetically. She switches from looking at me like I'm a piece of garbage to looking at my son like, would you like to take the computer test now? We have one open. And I swear to God, she was batting her eyelashes at him. It was weird. We have one open if you want to try it. Like, this is the most bizarre scenario. And he said, yeah, I guess. And now I did have a legitimate question. I said, if you can't read that without your glasses, are you going to be able to read the test over there without your glasses? And she looked at me and went, pfft. I thought, that's a valid question, okay? If he can't read that, maybe he can't read it. I don't know. I'm not allowed to go over there. I don't know how big the print is on the screen. I don't know if he can read it. And he goes, I can read it. It'll be fine. It's big enough for me to read. I said, are you sure you want to do that? You can do it tomorrow. And she kept looking at me like, you are an idiot. You're a complete idiot. She had this look on her face of just utter contempt. And she was just glaring at me. Allegedly. So he said, yeah, I'll go ahead and try it. And I'm thinking, okay, please don't fail, because then we have to wait another 7 days to come back here. I just want to get this over with. So we went over there, and I'm waiting over in the little waiting area, And he came back. He passed. Oh my God, he passed. I was so excited. So then we go back up to her window. And I said, yay, he passed. And she looked at me and went, did you think he wouldn't? I'm going, yeah, because he's already failed twice. I didn't say that, but I wanted to because I didn't want to embarrass him, which I'm doing right now, obviously, but it's over. He passed, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, she looked at me like, oh, do you think he wouldn't? I'm like, yeah, kind of. I was kind of thinking he wouldn't. I'm sorry. We've already been through this 2 times. And so then she goes, and she clips all the paperwork back together with the little slip with the DMV information on it. And she wrote some number on there and a note, needs glasses. And she hands it to him. She goes, now you make sure you bring all this back, okay? You come see me tomorrow. You can come right back here. And I'm just like chopped liver over here. Like, can I have the paperwork since I'm the parent? Can you give it to me? I'll put it back in my little envelope. No, she handed it to him. And she goes, bye-bye now. Don't forget your glasses tomorrow. And she was wearing glasses. That's important later, theoretically. Okay, so we left, and he was apologetic. My son was sorry. He said, I'm really sorry I forgot my glasses. I said, don't worry about it. We'll come back tomorrow. I'm just glad you passed that. So when we come back, all you have to do is the vision test and the sign test, and that's it. And you shouldn't have any problem with that, right? Oh, no, I got it. Okay, so I get off work today, and I come home, and I pick him up, and we get up there about lunchtime. And we have to wait in line again, but not as long. It actually wasn't too bad. And it wasn't as hot, which was nice. And so we get in there, and she's there. And I said, I don't want to deal with her again, please. I was hoping they would send us to another window. They have like 15 people working in there at all these different stations. I said, I hope we get somebody else. And he said, she's not that bad. I said, she hates me. I don't even know why. I said, did you see how she looked at me? She thought my question was stupid. And he said, well, you worded it weird. I said, I was fumbling over my words because I didn't want to rat you out for failing twice. And he said, yeah, okay, your question was just weird. I said, I don't think it was weird. I think it was completely a legitimate question. So theoretically, there's a little waiting area over here, and we're sitting over here, and all of the stations are up here. It's a big DMV. It's actually really big. And so her little station is over there. She spots him and goes, well, hey, stranger. And she's waving at him. She has this big grin on her face. And she goes, oh, I see you got your glasses. You look really cute in those glasses. They really suit your face. I'm going, oh, my God. This is bizarre. This is weird. And then, okay, so she's doing that. And then she looks over at me and goes, and then she goes back to doing something on her computer. I'm like, what the hell? What did I do to deserve this? Very weird. Very weird. So we have our little number, and we're waiting to be called to a cubicle. And we ended up going to somebody else. So we're walking past, and she watches us get up and walk around to this other person. And she's watching us the whole way. She's helping somebody. She stops right in the middle of what she's doing. And she goes, good thing you got your glasses on. And then she goes, I wear glasses too. It was weird. It was really weird. So he did his vision test and the sign test, passed everything with no problem. We paid the fee, and he got his learner's permit. Yay! And as we're walking out, she comes away from her cubicle, theoretically, comes around to where we were. Now, I know this is not typical. I've never had a DMV employee do this. She comes over, like they're social distancing, so she can't get really close, which I was actually happy about at this point, because I'm like, you're being weird. And she's talking to us the entire time he was doing his test. She's talking to him over the cubicle, going, you can do it. Good job. I know you can do it. I knew you'd pass. Which maybe she was just being really nice. I've never had one do that. Maybe she was just trying to encourage him. I don't know. It was odd. So we're leaving, right? So she comes away from her cubicle, comes around there and goes, You know, those frames look really nice. I think they look really good on you. It's a good thing you remembered your glasses today. I bet your mom reminded you to bring them, huh? And he didn't hear her. We were walking out, and I heard her, and at first I don't think it registered that she was talking to him. And then she goes, "Oh, you're not going to talk to me today?" And then he turned around and realized that she was talking to him. And he goes, "Oh, hey," and she goes, "Yeah, I wear glasses too." We both wear glasses. Isn't that funny? She was flirting with him, I swear. She was doing this weird little giggle and this grin. And I'm going, you really just need to go back to your cubicle because this is bizarre. Go back. He's like half your age. Go away. And he goes, yeah, okay, bye. And then he walked out. And I'm walking out, and she's looking at him going, and then he didn't see this, theoretically. All right, so he's out, and I'm walking, and I glanced back at her, and she went, and then she went back to her desk, allegedly. It was the most bizarre. I've had some weird experiences at the DMV. That was far and away the weirdest I've ever had at the DMV in my life, hypothetically. Strange. So anyway, but the good news is he's got his learner's permit. We can start the driving. Now in North Carolina, I don't know how it is in other places, but here in North Carolina, if you go through the driver's ed class, you get your certificate for that. You can get, you pass the test and everything. You get your learner's permit at 15. And you have to have it for a year, and you have to log 60 hours of driving time, and you can only get 10 hours a week. And I think 10 of those 60 hours have to be at night. The first 6 months you can't drive at night, but after that you can drive at any time. And you have to have a licensed adult in the car with you. And they have to be awake, which is kind of funny because I remember several times when I had my learner's permit, I was driving and my mom was in the car and she'd just lay the seat back and go to sleep. It was bizarre. I'm going, wow, you must really trust me not to kill us and get us home safely. It was weird. It was a strange, scary, but exhilarating experience. Anyway, I will not be doing that. Not that I don't trust my son, but just the thought of... It's weird. If you've been through it with your kids, it's interesting. And I have to teach them how to drive a stick shift, too. That should be fun. I got a sticker, a magnet, to put on the truck that says, "Please be patient, I'm learning to drive a manual," because people around here have no patience. I don't think the magnetic thing is going to help, but it might. People around here have zero patience for anyone. It's awful. And I swear during this pandemic it's gotten worse. People on the roads, I think, are more aggressive than they were before. So I got that because I remember learning to drive a stick. I choked down a lot, especially like at stoplights or on a hill. And yeah, so I want them to be patient. We're going to start out just driving, just in an area with not a lot of traffic, just like out on country roads or whatever. So he can just kind of get used to it and get a little better before we start driving around in the city or out on the interstate. Actually, the interstate probably wouldn't be too bad. But I want him to get some practice shifting and, stopping and starting before we get out into a lot of traffic. But when you get in traffic, you get nervous. And, I did anyway. So that is going to be a fun adventure that we're going to go on here. And I'm excited. So my kids are growing up. They do it so fast. If you have young kids, trust me, I swear to you, it seems like last week they were, little bitty toddlers, not even in school yet, and God, it goes so fast. You won't believe how fast it goes. So enjoy it now. I know sometimes it can be, nerve-wracking when they're little. You have a lot of things, a lot of challenges, and just enjoy it as much as you can because they really, when people say they grow up fast, oh God, they really do. They grow up so fast. Okay, I think that's it. Refrigerator, braces, learner's permit. And it was a really busy week at work, so I've been busy. Oh, and I have something to show you. I'm going to show you. But look, I wanted to show you this shirt. I got this shirt at Goodwill. Isn't it cool? I love the floral pattern. Look, and I just have this short-sleeved sweater that also came from Goodwill, and it has little chains on it. How cool. And this bracelet, this leather bracelet, came in one of the Goodwill bags, and I love it because see, the shirt has these little flowers that are kind of orange and yellow. And look at this bracelet. It has little orangish looking and yellow flowers on it. It's like it was made for the shirt. Yeah, it has little snaps to hold it there. And this is the necklace from the Goodwill video last night. I thought it was kind of like a brownish reddish color, but it looks different in different lights. Like if I go in the closet in there, I was holding it. I went in the closet to figure out what to wear with it. In that light, it almost looks like a dark purple. But in here, it looks kind of brown. It's weird. In different lights, it looks different. But I decided to wear it with this top to work today. I really like it. I thought it was pretty. I love the colors and the pattern on it. It's really cool. And the bracelet looks good with it. Okay, that is the end of that. And I ordered something, and it came in the mail yesterday. I was going to show it to you yesterday, but it's been raining here nonstop for days, and it finally stopped yesterday, and I went out and tried to mow. I mow the front. My older son does the backyard and everything. I like to do the front. I really actually enjoy mowing. I really enjoy it. It's good exercise. You get to see, the results of your hard work, and it always makes me, I just feel so satisfied when I finish mowing and I can look out at it and it looks good. Well, it quit raining for a little while, and I thought maybe if I get out there and mow, I can get it done. Well, I got about halfway done and it started pouring down rain, so I had to stop. So my yard is half mowed, and it rained all day today, so I couldn't mow. But I was soaking wet and sweaty. I got drenched trying to put everything away. This rainstorm came up out of nowhere, and I had to get everything put up. It's a corded electric lawnmower, so I'm not going to stay out there, obviously. I was going to show it to you yesterday, but I was so sweaty and wet. I didn't feel like doing a video that showed my face because I was so sticky, and I had to come in and take a shower. We just did jewelry last night. But, okay, I'll tell you about this. Now, this is, and you've probably seen this online, especially if you have Facebook. That's where I saw it. They didn't sponsor me. I've actually paid for this, the regular price. It's called Royal Portraits, and it's where you can send them a picture of your face, or a friend of yours, or they even do pets. They can send in a picture of your pet, and they will put it on the body of like a royal person, like a king or a queen or a duke or a duchess or something like that, and it looks like a painting. So I thought it would be funny to get one, and I can't remember the name of the one I picked. I think it was a duchess or something. So I sent him a picture of my face, and I ordered the 16 by 20 portrait, and here it is. I haven't opened it. So I thought we would look at it together, and we will see if it's good or not. I don't know. It's probably going to be hilarious, I imagine. I paid $10 extra to get a digital copy of the portrait ahead of time, but I never got it, so I'm a little irritated. I have sent them a message about it, but I haven't heard back from them. And I checked their Facebook. They had put a post on Facebook, and other people were commenting on the post and saying the same thing. I paid extra for the digital copy and I never got it. So I'm hoping I can at least get my $10 back. I'm not even interested in the digital copy anymore. Like, I don't care. I could just take a picture of this if I want to. I'm kind of irritated because that was supposed to come before the portrait, so you could see it early, see what it looked like, and share it with people or whatever. Well, the portrait's here. I never got the digital copy, so I'm kind of irritated. I don't know what C22 means. That might be something the post office wrote on there. I don't know. But it still has the little straps on it. I'm going to cut these straps off and pop the top open, and then we will look at it together. See, I was going to just make a video showing you this, but the video would have only been like 5 minutes long. So I decided to theoretically tell you about my week and the way it's gone. So I'm going to take my little scissors. I'm going to cut the straps off, pop the top open, and then we would take a look at it. Oh, apparently I don't have to pop the top open. I just realized it just opens like this. I'm afraid to look at it. I'm sure it's going to be ridiculous. I thought it would be funny for a laugh. I don't even know where to put this. I have nowhere to put this in my house. Where am I going to put this picture? All right, here goes nothing. We'll look at this thing together here. Let me open this up. Oh, it's face down. That might be good. It's in plastic. Let me get this box off my lap. Here's the back. Take the plastic off. I'm scared to look at it. Oh, this is the top. You can see there's a little thing on the back where you can hang it. So I guess you don't need a frame. I mean, I guess you could frame it, but you can actually just hang it. There's a barcode on the bottom. That's weird. Is this the back? It's glued on there crooked. All right, you ready for this? I don't think I'm ready for this. Oh my God, look, it's me. Why am I wearing a watch? I'm wearing a watch, look. Oh my God. That is hysterical. Okay. Well, alrighty then. I loved this the whole thing. I love the dress. I love the crown. I guess I'm not a duchess. I guess I'm a queen or something. Yee. What am I gonna do with this? Oh my God. I don't know. I have no plan for this picture. Oh dear God, that is hilarious. Anyway, here I am with my crown, and I have two crowns. Like, I have a daytime and a nighttime crown, or I don't know why I have two crowns. But anyway, there we go. There's my picture. Oh, that's hysterical. That's awesome. That's funny. Now I gotta figure out what the heck to do with it. So yeah, that's from Royal Portraits. They didn't sponsor me, but I'll put a link to it if you want to go check it out. They have other backgrounds and stuff you can do, and you can have your pet. They will even do them for your pet like this. Put a little crown on your pet, make them royalty if you want to. You know what? After the week I've had, this is awesome. This is like the perfect end to this crazy week. So yeah, there we have it. I'm royalty. That's the closest I'm ever going to get to royalty, but anyway, it's pretty awesome. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you've had a good week. I hope it's been a pleasant, peaceful, productive week for you. And I will see you again really soon. I gotta find somewhere to put this. I might just stick it in the closet. I don't know. Anyway, I will see you again really soon.